if you're an entrepreneur, you just want to go after it. And it feels like process and systems, it's an obstacle in the path of success. It's just red tape and bureaucracy and, pencil pushers. How do you see systems, and how do you help your leaders see it a different way?
Yeah, so I say on several different levels. So one is I am more entrepreneurial minded. I was the founder of our organization and have started other things as well. And so it does seem like systems, that's somebody else's job to slow things down, but I'll answer it in a couple different ways, George. One is, let's say, if people are listening, imagine I'm drawing a line up and to the right. So we're seeing growth in our organization. The entrepreneur, the salespeople, they're going to usually be the person that has a line, an arrow pointing up. They're creating revenue, they're driving sales, they're innovating products, they're growing the ministry, whatever it is. There's an upward line. If the line is going up and to the right, if there's not pressure from below on that line, imagine if it's a bridge going across a body of water, if there's not support below the bridge, eventually the bridge is going to fall. And so you're going to have people that are naturally what I call above the line leaders who are driving revenue, growth, expansion. And if they don't either value or surround themselves with what I call below the line leaders, creating the structure and the support, their growth trajectory is going to be limited. So whether you do it or not, whether you understand it or not, you have to value it as a leader. And it's your job to make sure those systems are in place. You may not even create them. You may not even understand them, but you have to demand them, create the environment where people can create them. And again, everything's going to rise and fall based on the quality of your systems.
Yeah, a lot of leaders listening, they may have gotten to where they are today through just grit and scrappiness, and they go, Craig, I don't think I need a system. We're doing pretty well today.
Yep.
Was there a time when you thought the same way, where you didn't have systems in place? What was your life like, and what was your leadership like?
Yeah, so it's kind of the difference between like a mom and pop business and something that goes to the next level. A lot of times, the thing that is missing is healthy systems. And so I like the way you asked the question, because that's the way I used to ask the question. And it's something like, was there a time when you didn't have systems? And to respond to that, I would have said yes a long time ago, but I recognize that everybody's got systems. They may not be good systems, but they're systems, right? A bad system might be you walk to your business, you unlock the door, you turn on the lights, you respond to problems all day long, you turn off the lights, you lock the door, and you go home. That is a system. It's not a good system, but it is a system. And so what we need to recognize, George, is that we all have systems. We have them either by intent or by default. And what is our system? It essentially is a result of either what we have created or what we've allowed. And I want to say it again, because this is really important, that we all have systems. We either have them intentionally or they're there accidentally. They're by default. You're never going to have a great system by accident. You have to create the systems. And so to answer your question, there was really never a time under my leadership that I didn't have systems, but there's a lot of times where I didn't have good systems at all. And it was because I'm not naturally a systems person in the way that I think. I had to surround myself with people who are. And once I started to see the value of what they do, I started to learn the how, the why, what do they think about, how do they see it, how do they create it. And then I wasn't just one who appreciated it, but I got better at creating the right systems. And now, as a leader of our church is currently in 42 different locations in 12 or 13 different states or whatever, with hundreds of employees spread across the U.S. We are only able to have the ministry impact that we are because we've created healthy systems. And anytime we struggle, one of the first places we're going to look at the quality of the leaders, and we're going to look at the quality of the systems again and again. So this is something all leaders we should be thinking about. It's one of the top 5 or 6 different categories. We're thinking about the quality of our people. We're thinking about our asset allocation. We're thinking about our culture. We're thinking about driving values. We're thinking about systems. These are the things that are going to be up on the top of the list of things we're working on as leaders.
Wow. Yeah, it's impressive how you've been able to scale your organization, and it's largely due to the systems that you're talking about. And we've been preaching a system here on the money side for a long time with Dave Ramsey, the 7 baby steps. And there's a reason that it works. It's a proven process, and that's what we're talking about here. So
Yes,
what is
that's
any
exactly-
other
that's
examples in the business
yeah.
world?
In the business world, I mean, it would be anything. It would be, how do you launch a product? How do you launch a new location? How do you franchise something? How do you send weekly emails? How do you send daily emails? How do you create a podcast? So, for example, this is maybe, I'm guessing, my third or fourth time on the EntreLeadership podcast. And before we started, who did I talk to? I talked to Will, same person we talked to last time. What does Will do? Will has a system that goes on behind the scenes of here's when we set up the camera, here's when we set up the light. There's someone on your team who contacts my office. They talk a certain amount of time ahead of time. They put it on the date. They give me the theme. They give me 2 or 3 questions that you're going to ask. So everything we're doing right now is a result of a system. The reason we started on time, the reason we know what we're talking about, the reason we're organized, the reason why I've got a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here, and you've got a team on your side, is because there was a system in place of this is how we create a podcast experience. Everything we do is a result of systems. When it's done well, it's a result of good systems. When it's done poorly, I promise you're going to find systems that have room for improvement.